there, this is Alex of PNW Bible Journaling on the Creative Retreat YouTube channel, diving into the June Faith Art Box called Acts of Prayer. These little enamel stickers you see are an add-on this month. There's a couple of cool add-ons. In the kit itself, you get a stencil, and it is awesome. I'm super inspired by it. You'll see that today. And then the whole theme is kind of a flower power tie-dye kind of design feel. I love these stamps. They're super versatile. You can stack the solid petal with the flower outline and the center of the flower. It's really a lot of choices. There's those art element stickers, the rainbow alphas and the black alphas, and I swoon for the black. I love adding that stark black to the design. So today I'm going to land in a passage in Luke chapter 11, and I'm actually going to look at one of the things that Julie Cassell, who wrote the devotional this month, suggested, which is a prayer method. And I had recently watched a video between Lacey Finn-Borgo and Deanna Gemmer. Lacey is from Good Dirt Ministries and Deanna Gemmer is from Summit Avenue Presbyterian. And they talked about the Examen prayer. And so I Googled it a bit more. Lacey in the video shares how to do Examen prayer with kids, and her language is slightly different than what I'm going to cover here. But look, when I Googled it, the Franciscan prayer, look at the beautiful correlation of the stained glass window that they had on the website to the spiral. So of course, when I saw that, I was immediately inspired to do the rainbow spiral and then to outline the steps of the Examen prayer. So what I'm looking at here is at the top, it suggests that you begin with a pause or a slow, deep breath. That's marking your prayer. That's noting something that notes you've begun praying. And when Lacey Borgo talked about it, she actually said, with our kids, it's wrestling. And I talked to my husband in our parenting small group. That is our time around the dinner table when we sing. And it's kind of a reflective type of prayer. And then the next step is thanksgiving. There's a step of petition. Oh, here you see me checking out the add-on prayer journal that is made from recycled apple peels. And yes, I was sniffing the page. Anyways, back to the steps of prayers of Examen: petition, review, response, and look ahead. And those are outlined in this Franciscan prayer. I will link that below if you want to know more. These are the various ink pads I used, which were Yield, Cotton Candy. Let's see, Cotton Candy is the pink, Peachy Keen is the peach. I pulled out Mystic Lavender. I ended up actually changing that to a different color later on. I ended up going with Powder Puff Blue instead. And then I believe that last one is Waterfall Blue, excuse me. And so those are the colors I use. They are all Creative Retreat inks. I'm just using a blending brush and some washi tape from last month's kit to kind of hold my stencil in place to mark where I need to line up the corners. That actually helped. You'll see me, I have to move the washi tape because it was in a bad spot. I should have lined it up at the bottom corner where it wasn't going to, or the top corner where it wasn't going to interfere with one of my other stencils. It just allows me to quickly line up my spot. You can even just use the stencil itself. So there I've laid down Yield and Peachy Keen. I'm overlapping a little and then trying to make sure each color has some of its own color and then space for it to overlap the next color. Basically, that creates that tie-dye effect. So I'm trying to be conscious of how much of each color I put on so that I can get through all the colors. I'm just brushing it off with baby wipes kind of between colors. If you wanted to use separate blending brushes or a different blending tool for each color, you could do that. So there, I did the Mystic Lavender. I didn't love it. And so then I tried a planetarium. It was a little closer to the blue, but you'll see me actually come back later and add in that Cotton Candy blue. Here it is, because, I'm sorry, not Cotton Candy, Powder Puff Blue, because I wanted a brighter blue like is in the swirl. And then actually I used that here, the Waterfall Blue, and then at the very end you'll see me actually pop back and add in Bonsai Green, which even adds in a brighter teal color. So I really used almost all of my Creative Retreat colors that I have on hand to create this spiral. You can find all the links and those colors in the description below if you want to grab any new inks to go with this kit. She also is selling a blending tool there. Here I wanted to just try a different way. So It looks okay in the end. I should have let the inks dry further between. And what I was doing was basic. The idea was I was going to lay down Yield and then rotate the stencil and lay down Peachy Keen, and then rotate the stencil and lay down the Cotton Candy Pink, and then rotate it and lay down the here Waterfall Blue, and then come in with the Bonsai Green. I don't like how it turns out as much. I mean, it's still pretty, it still works for the page. Here I'm adding that Bonsai Green because it was so much brighter. It's a little bit more muted like the tie-dye, but I just don't love how the colors blended, and maybe that was avoidable if I'd let them dry more. I'm not entirely sure. I might toy with another tie-dye splosh like that and just lay down separate colors. Here I'm using the alphas that came with the kit to write the word examine, and then I use the stamp that is in the kit to write prayer. I love this script the word prayer is in. It's just beautiful, and I can see myself using that particular stamp a lot. Even just to label where prayers are on my page. Sometimes I just underline my prayers so I know they're my thoughts, but it'd be kind of fun to consistently label them. So you're going to see me toy around a lot here with art elements and alphas, and here I'm using a label sticker and a stamp that says Thanksgiving. I really played with what I had in the kit and then what else I wanted to use. In the end, I realized I was going to run out of some of my letters, and so, but I also, even though the word mark is not part of what I learned about the Franciscan prayer, I wanted to include the idea of marking our prayers. And so whether that's with deep breath and a pause, slow breathing, or something like I mentioned with kids where it's like after wrestling we pray, or after we call it peach and pit or highs and lows at the dinner table. There's a way to mark the idea of prayers with this Examen prayer. It's much more integrated into whatever you're doing. And so it is important to still mark that it's prayer. So that's why I included the word mark, even though it wasn't part of, say, the study I did on the Franciscan Examen daily prayer. And then there I did the Thanksgiving was a stamp from the kit using a label sticker. I also liked this little heart blurb from the art element sticker, and because it made me think one of the things, the last step of the prayer is to look ahead. With what spirit do I want to enter tomorrow? And that little heart bubble kind of reminded me of that sentiment. This is where I get the idea to reuse some of my letters by, I don't know what this is called, but it's like where you, almost like a crossword puzzle where you use the letters going different directions. And then I was like, oh, I can reuse the R. So I had to move Thanksgiving. I do a lot of this. I also used an F for an E because, and here I'm adding the bottom because I ran out of E's. I'm also kind of known for that. I just use what I have. And so here I've got mark, review, response, and Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving, review, and response are all steps of the prayer. I knew that I wanted both the review and the response word in those bold black letters because they both started with R. I wanted to connect them that way. And so then I pulled out these alphas, which are Creative Retreat alphas. I'll let you know the number below so you can order them. And I love them because they're wonky and they give you so much freedom. They are truly a go-to alpha for me. And here I'm spelling out the word petition, and then I'll go down to the bottom and spell out the words look ahead. So the steps of this prayer are Thanksgiving, petition, review, response, and look ahead. And with Thanksgiving, what am I especially grateful for in the past day? Petition, I'm about to review my day. I ask for the light to know God and to know myself as God sees me. Review, where have I felt true joy today? What has troubled me? What has challenged me? Where and when did I pause? What have I noticed about God's presence? That's kind of the review. The response is what Borgo Lacey from the video calls growth. Response. In light of my review, what is my response to God, to the God of my life? How am I going to grow? And you kind of meditate and speak those things as part of your prayer. And then look ahead, which is, as I look ahead, what comes to mind? With what spirit do I want to enter tomorrow? It's a very thoughtful, meditative type of prayer. I used the little hashes to add some more black to the page. I just plopped them on a couple of spots. You saw me use the tab from the Art Elements page at the top. It's got that little spiral. I added a little tie-dye and black heart at the top. I also added the word from the stamp, Amen. And then I just wrote out a little short prayer. Lord, may I pray to encounter you, because I know that encounter with you builds lasting relationship. And that's something else that I learned from the video, which I'll explore in my later entry this month. So be sure to tune into the channel to see that, where I talk about encounter with God and prayer as an encounter. I hope that you're inspired to look up other methods. Julie covers in her video earlier this month the axe prayer. That's a method of prayer. There are so many out there, and finding one that fits for you, finding one that really encourages you to pray without ceasing, to pray continually. This Examen prayer is exactly that. I hope you're inspired and that you'll tune in, subscribe, and like the videos here on the channel so you don't miss anything from the other design team members. And if you want to snag anything you saw, the descriptions are down below. Happy Bible journaling! This is Alex of PNW Bible Journaling signing off the Creative Retreat YouTube channel.